guys, welcome back. In this video we'll be going through operators in Python, which is specifically looking at integers and even floats. A couple of episodes back I mentioned strings, integers, floats and booleans, and these were our four main data types. Last episode we covered string and how we can concatenate them cleanly. This video will be going through these two, integers and floats, and boolean is a special data type which we will go through the later video about if-else statements. So what are operators? Well, operators in, let's just say, in the real world, in math, operators are things that could add, subtract, multiply and divide. So this would be an add. So this adds two different numbers, and then I'm going to put in brackets strings, because remember we can add strings to concatenate them, and by using this add operator. And then we have the subtract, which subtracts two different numbers, and remember subtract can return a minus number if it's a small number subtracted by a big number. Cannot, so the subtract operator has nothing to do with strings. The multiply, so usually when we have a multiply math, we use the x operator, but like x is a character in computers, so most computers use the asterisk key character. So this multiplies two different numbers, and you can also multiply strings, and I'll explain that later on. And then we have divide, which divides two numbers, and it cannot divide strings, so the divide operator has nothing to do with strings. Alright, so these are the four operators that I hope you're familiar in the real world. Maybe not Python, maybe you didn't know this was a divide, and maybe you didn't know this was multiply, but you got to keep in mind these two are multiply and divide. But there's also two more operators that we don't really necessarily use in the real world much, but we can easily do them in a computer. So we have the percent operator, which is actually a modulus. So what this means is it divides two numbers, and it returns the remainder. So let's say we had 12 modulus 5. So we know 5 goes in 12 two times, and then we have two remainders, so that will give us 2. So let's say we have 12 modulus 6, and then that will give us another 5 again, 6, and that will give us 0. Okay, so the last operator is a complete divide, so it's 2 forward slashes. So this divides two numbers and it gets rid of the decimal. So alright, so let's just say we had 13 divided by 2 here. It should return when we do a normal division, so when we do 13 divided by 2, it should return 6.5, but for this it'll only return 6, 6, so it gets rid of the 0.5. So let's see these operators in action. So let's just print add two different numbers. So this one's pretty similar, 12 plus 11. So these are numbers obviously because they've got no quotation marks around it. So let's run this. We get 23. It's what we should have expected to get out. Let's see if we see what happens when we add two strings. Obviously it won't be 23. From last video we've seen it'll concatenate to 12, 11, and then let's see what happens if we just let one of them that, and it'll give us an error. So this is a potential error you could get if you add a number by a string. So you got check if it says int and string unsupported operand, it means you're trying to add a string, a number with a string. Let's clear this. Let's try minus. So subtract. Run this. You get 1. How about if you do 10 take away 11? You get minus 1. Obviously you can't really minus a string, so you get unsupported operand string with string. Same will happen if you just let one string be string, one be a integer. Obviously if you want to fix this, you could get rid of the quotation marks, or you could do int around these, convert the string into an integer, and then run it, and then it'll work. So now we'll go to multiplying. We'll put this to 10. So 10 times 11 will give us 110. So what happens if we do 10 times hey, and then it'll show hey 10 times. We could just add a space here. It'll show hey with a space. What happens if we do hey times hi? Pretty sure this won't work, but it might. Yep, can't multiply, so you can send on in. So if you want to multiply a string, you have to have a number to multiply it with. So now let's go to divide. 13 divided by 2, which was our example. Clear this, run it. 6.5. What if we do 14 divided by 2? 7.0. So you can see this is returning a float because you can see this 0.0. So if you want to make it an int, you can do this. So basically what's going to do, it's going to do the calculation, and after the calculation it'll do the conversion, and then run, and it turns into 7. So let's try dividing it with the shrink. So 14 divided by 2, and obviously shrink and int can't be divided. Alright, the modulus operator. This is the one that that might confuse a couple of people. So let's do 15 modulus 5, okay, and it's 0, which means 5 fits in 15 without no decimal places. So if you divide it, you can see no decimal places apart from the float number. And this works. This is good to test if let's say we want to know if 4 grams fits in 24 perfectly. You run it, and then no, it's gotta be modulus. You run it, and then it comes out with 0. But what happens if we do like 18 divided by 5, or we'll do our example 13 divided by 2 divided by 2, actually no, it's modulus. Run it, and then it comes with 1. No, it's 12. Sorry, it was 12 modulus 5. That was our example. And then that gives us 2. Because 5 fits in 12 twice, it doesn't fit in 3 because we can tell, divide it. It fits in 2 times, and there's a 0.4. And then we can just test it out with 6. And then it fits in perfectly. Let's go to the 2 numbers, I guess, through the decimals. So we'll try 13 hard divide by 2. So we saw here, this gives us 6.5, this should give us 6. Run it, and it's 6. We can do hard divide this, and then it gives us 6 again. Notice when we hard divide it, it doesn't give us a float number, it returns an integer. So the point of these hard divides is to get rid of the floats. So what I'm gonna ask you to do is a quiz. I'm wanting you to basically get input from a user and then print print if it's a print hold up, print. Okay, so what I want you to do is print the remainder is, and then remainder, whether you were putting here, if it's 1 it means it's odd, if it's even, actually not, if it's 0 it means it's even. So basically I want you to get input from the user, and then the input is a number, and then I want you to print out the remainder and tell the user if it's a odd or even number from that remainder. But before you do the quiz, I want to show you something. Let's do number equals input, enter number. So we do clear, we run this, and then let's just do 3. Well, let's do print number times 4. Let's run this again. We'll do 3, and then it's showing 3 3 3 3. Well, what we wanted to do is make this into a number. What input does, it gets a value from the user and it automatically makes it a string. So what we need to do is once we get the input, we want to make an integer, and remember we need to end it with 2 brackets since we started with 2 brackets. So now we run this, we write 3, and then it gives us what we want. So keep in mind when you're trying to extract a number from a user, make sure it has an int and then a close bracket. Alright, I'll give you 5 seconds to do that. Alright, hopefully you pause the video to do that. If you haven't, make sure to pause now. But hopefully you've got the answer too. So let's just delete all of this. I'll keep those actually. So we wanted a number from a user. So we've done this already. So input enter number. Remember to have the int, and then you want to print it out, which is the remainder. So you do print. Well, we can make another variable to separate out. So number. Well, how do we check if it's an even number? Well, if we divide a number by 2 and it returns a 0, meaning if it means the 0, it's an even number. Otherwise, it's an odd number. So we do modulus 2, and then write print the, I don't know why I'm not there, the remainder is, I'm gonna keep it like that for now. If it's 1, it means it's odd. If it's 0, it means it's even. Put f string here, and then remainder, and we can get rid of these comments. Run this. So we enter number 5. Well, 5 isn't an even number, so it should return 1, and now we know it's an odd number. Let's just do 6. It returns a 0. We know it's even. Let's just do a big number. So we just if we were to scan this, we know it's an even number at the end, number 2. But if you want to do it quickly, hold up. Oh, I think I put that at the end accidentally. Let me do it again. Make sure it's even. And oh, let me run it first. And it shows this even number. So I hope this video helped you out with operators. If you have, make sure to subscribe that because it'll help me out. Look out for the next video.